Paris, late 1880s, a city of stone and romance, a place where history whispered from every cobblestone and grand boulevard. The city was a tapestry woven with centuries of art, culture, and revolution. Its heart beat with a rhythm of tradition, elegance, and a certain je ne sais quoi that captivated the world. Imagine horse-drawn carriages clip-clopping along the Champs-Élysées, gas lamps casting a warm glow on lovers strolling by the Seine, and the air filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and strong coffee. This was a Paris steeped in the past, a city that cherished its heritage and guarded its aesthetic sensibilities fiercely. But this idyllic scene was about to be disrupted, irrevocably changed, suddenly overshadowed by a rising iron giant. A structure so audacious, so unlike anything Paris had ever seen, that it threatened to shatter the city's carefully cultivated image. The 1889 World's Fair, a celebration of progress and innovation, demanded a showstopper, a centerpiece that would capture the imagination of the world and solidify France's position at the forefront of technological advancement. The pressure was on to create something truly spectacular, something that would leave a lasting impression on the millions of visitors expected to descend upon the city. And Gustave Eiffel's company delivered a 300-meter lattice of wrought iron, a daring feat of engineering that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Eiffel, a renowned bridge builder, envisioned a tower that would not only serve as a symbol of the World's Fair, but also as a testament to the power of modern engineering. His design was bold, innovative, and utterly unlike anything Paris had ever seen. Construction was a marvel, precision, daring, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. Workers scaled dizzying heights, braving the elements to assemble the intricate iron framework. It was a ballet of steel and sweat, a symphony of hammers and rivets, all orchestrated with meticulous planning and unwavering determination. And 18,000 iron parts assembled with millimeter accuracy, a testament to the precision and skill of the engineers and workers involved. Each piece was carefully crafted and meticulously placed, ensuring the structural integrity of the towering edifice. It was a feat of engineering that would have been considered impossible just a few decades prior. But Parisians were horrified. The initial reaction was one of shock, disbelief, and outright rejection. To them, it was a cold, industrial skeleton, an eyesore that clashed with the city's romantic aesthetic and threatened to overshadow its historic landmarks. It was seen as an intrusion, a vulgar display of industrial might that had no place in the heart of Paris. A giant dark smokestack, a monstrous chimney that polluted the city's skyline and offended its artistic sensibilities. A truly tragic street lamp, an oversized and ungainly structure that dwarfed the city's elegant gas lamps and cast a long, unwelcome shadow over its streets. And most famously, the iron asparagus, a tall, spindly, and utterly unappealing vegetable that had no place in the refined gardens of Parisian architecture. Iron was for bridges, not monuments. It was a material meant for practical purposes, for connecting distant shores and facilitating trade, not for creating towering symbols of national pride. The tower dwarfed everything, more than twice the height of the Great Pyramid, a structure that had stood for millennia as a testament to human ambition and architectural prowess. The Eiffel Tower, in comparison, seemed like a fleeting and frivolous novelty. It dominated the skyline, visible from every corner, a constant reminder of the industrial age and the perceived desecration of Paris's artistic heritage. No matter where you stood in the city, the Eiffel Tower loomed large, a stark contrast to the elegant architecture and carefully planned vistas that had defined Paris for centuries and felt like a violation of Paris's soul, a betrayal of its artistic spirit, and a symbol of the city's descent into the cold, unfeeling world of industrial modernity. It was as if the very essence of Paris was being threatened by this towering metal intruder. Outrage wasn't quiet, it was loud, public, and passionate. Artists, writers, and intellectuals joined forces to denounce the tower. Organizing protests and signing petitions demanding its removal, the city was ablaze with debate and the future of the Eiffel Tower hung precariously in the balance. The anger grew, nicknames multiplied, fueled by scathing newspaper articles and satirical cartoons that mocked the tower's appearance and questioned its purpose. The press played a significant role in shaping public opinion, amplifying the voices of dissent and turning the Eiffel Tower into a symbol of everything that was wrong with modern Paris. And the city's artists and citizens prepared for battle, determined to defend their beloved Paris from what they perceived as an assault on its cultural identity. They saw themselves as guardians of the city's artistic heritage, and they were prepared to fight tooth and nail to preserve its beauty and charm. The Eiffel Tower was seen as a temporary vulgar gimmick, a scar on the face of Paris, a monument to bad taste, and a symbol of the city's decline. It was a structure that many Parisians believed would be torn down as soon as the World's Fair was over, a fleeting embarrassment that would soon be forgotten. The battle for the city's identity had begun, a clash between tradition and modernity, between art and industry, between those who embraced progress and those who clung to the past. The fate of the Eiffel Tower, and perhaps the very soul of Paris, hung in the balance. The iron asparagus was here, and Paris was not happy. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, a battle that would determine whether the Eiffel Tower would become a beloved symbol of Paris or a forgotten eyesore. The backlash against the Eiffel Tower wasn't merely a fleeting moment of disapproval. It rapidly escalated into a full-blown cultural war, a clash of ideologies and artistic sensibilities that gripped Paris. The very fabric of Parisian society seemed to be torn as the debate raged on. On one side stood the artists and writers, guardians of tradition and beauty, fiercely protective of Paris's aesthetic heritage. On the other, the engineers and modernists, champions of progress and innovation, eager to usher in a new era of industrial advancement. The conflict was palpable, a stark contrast between the romanticism of the past and the utilitarianism of the future. Critics, wielding their pens like swords, lambasted the tower, decrying it as soulless, a cold and unfeeling mechanical monstrosity that had no place in the City of Lights. They saw it as an affront to the artistic spirit of Paris. It was dismissed as a belfry skeleton, a gaunt and graceless structure that lacked the elegance and charm of traditional Parisian architecture. The critics argued that it was nothing more than a naked display of industrial might, devoid of artistic merit. They feared that this towering behemoth would cast its long, ominous shadow over the city's most cherished landmarks, obscuring the beauty of Notre Dame and diminishing the grandeur of the Louvre. The tower, they claimed, threatened to overshadow the very essence of Paris. The renowned writer Guy de Maupassant famously dined in the tower's restaurant, a seemingly paradoxical act for someone who so vehemently opposed its existence. But his reason was simple. He sought refuge within its metallic confines, just to avoid having to see the offensive structure looming over the Parisian skyline. For the creative class, the tower was not a symbol of progress, but an act of vandalism, a desecration of the city's artistic heritage. They viewed it as an eyesore that marred the beauty of Paris, a testament to the triumph of industry over art. Ordinary Parisians too felt a sense of unease, a feeling that their beloved city was being hijacked by the relentless march of industry, that the charm and character of old Paris were being sacrificed at the altar of progress. The debate surrounding the Eiffel Tower was not a polite discussion. It was a fierce and passionate battle, fought in the newspapers, in the cafes, and even in the halls of Parliament. It was a clash between two opposing visions. The enduring beauty and cherished traditions of Paris versus the relentless march of industrial progress and the cold, unyielding strength of iron. Yet, despite the outcry, the tower continued to rise, rivet by rivet, a testament to human ingenuity and engineering prowess. Each new level fueled the controversy, and as it ascended, so too did the chorus of angry voices demanding its immediate destruction, circulating petitions and organizing protests in a desperate attempt to halt its seemingly inevitable completion. This wasn't just about the construction of a building, no matter how imposing. It was about something far more profound. It was a battle for the very soul of Paris, a struggle to define what the city represented and what its future would hold. The Eiffel Tower, in all its controversial glory, became the central battleground, the focal point for a city grappling with its identity and its vision for the future. Was it a stroke of genius, a symbol of human achievement, or a hideous eyesore, a blight on the Parisian landscape? The city was irrevocably divided, torn between those who embraced the future and those who clung to the past, a schism that would forever alter the character of Paris. In 1887, opposition crystallized into the Committee of 300. Artists, writers, and architects united. Their protest, published in Le Temps, called the tower a useless and monstrous disgrace to Paris. They warned it would crush everything beneath it and become a source of national shame. The petition turned the tower into a national scandal. Art versus industry, old Paris versus new. Gustave Eiffel and the fair's organizers were on the defensive. The cultural heart of France was crying foul. The world watched. Would outrage stop the Iron Giant? The battle lines were drawn. Here's the twist. The clock was ticking from the moment the first rivet was hammered into place. The understanding was clear, etched in ink and bound by legal agreement. After that predetermined date, the agreement stated it was to be systematically dismantled, piece by piece, and sold for scrap metal. The iron lattice, the symbol of modernity, was destined for the smelter. Imagine the sheer scale of such an undertaking, the deconstruction of a monument that had captured the world's imagination. This temporary status wasn't just an arbitrary decision. It was a compromise, a necessary evil to appease a vocal and influential group of critics who vehemently opposed the tower's construction. They saw it as an eyesore, a blight on the beautiful Parisian landscape. For many prominent artists, writers, and intellectuals, even a 20-year lifespan was far too long to endure what they derisively called the iron asparagus, a towering symbol of industrial ugliness that clashed with the city's artistic heritage. They believed it would forever mar the Parisian skyline. As the 1889 World's Fair opened its gates, drawing millions of visitors from around the globe, the tower's fate was already sealed, its destiny predetermined. It was a ticking clock, a countdown to demolition, hanging over the structure like a dark cloud. Every day that passed brought it closer to its plan. As the year 1909 rapidly approached, the deadline looming ever closer, the tension in Paris was palpable. Its critics, those who had long decried its existence, waited eagerly and impatiently for its inevitable end, anticipating the day the iron asparagus would finally disappear from the skyline. Only a miracle, a dramatic and unforeseen intervention, could possibly save it from the fate that had been sealed years before. The odds were stacked against it, but the story of the Eiffel Tower is one of unexpected twists and turns. Eiffel wasn't about to let his creation vanish. He knew the tower needed a purpose beyond tourism, a reason Paris couldn't live without it. So he transformed it into a scientific laboratory. Eiffel installed a meteorology lab, conducted wind and aerodynamics experiments, and built a wind tunnel at its base. He invited scientists worldwide, ensuring the tower contributed to real research. Every experiment, every discovery, became another argument for its survival. Eiffel published results, promoted the tower's scientific value, and shifted the debate. The Iron Lady was no longer just a monument. She was a vital tool for science. But would that be enough? Eiffel's scientific push paid off. The tower's meteorological station provided France's most accurate weather data. Physicists refined engineering principles, astronomers made celestial observations. Eiffel even built a private lab at the top, hosting luminaries like Thomas Edison. The tower became a symbol of French scientific progress. Public perception shifted. The useless tower was now indispensable. The critics' arguments faded as the tower's value grew. But an even greater purpose was about to emerge. Enter radio? Wireless telegraphy needed a tall antenna, and the Eiffel Tower was perfect. In 1903, Captain Ferré proposed using the tower for military radio experiments. Eiffel agreed, offering the site for free. The tower became a key part of France's military communications. By 1908, it was sending messages across France and to ships in the Atlantic. The original demolition deadline arrived, but now the tower was vital to national defense. The city quietly extended its permit. Radio had saved the Eiffel Tower. The Iron Giant became the voice of France. Its survival was secured by invisible waves. World War I made the tower a legend. Its transmitter coordinated French troops and jammed German communications. During the First Battle of the Marne, intercepted messages helped save Paris. The tower's big ear turned the tide of war. It also caught spies, most famously Mata Hari. Once derided as useless, the tower became a national hero. Its value to France was now beyond question. The Iron Lady had saved the city that once wanted her gone. Today, the Eiffel Tower is Paris's symbol, but its survival was never guaranteed. It stands because of science, strategy, and radio waves, not just beauty. The iron asparagus became a national hero, its critics silenced by its service. It's impossible to imagine Paris without it now. The tower's dramatic past, rejection, a death sentence, and a last-minute reprieve makes it more than a monument. Its greatest flaw became its salvation. Gustave Eiffel's vision and persistence gave it a purpose that outlasted its critics. The Iron Lady, built for 20 years, became eternal.